We had an influx in the Round Lake area communities of a lot of Latinos. It became sort of a port of entry. Well, actually, the idea for Mano came up with Isla and Bruce.
Mano was actually founded by Bruce Johnson, who currently serves on the board and is CEO of NACASA, Behavioral Health Services, State Representative Mark Bobian Jr., and also Mayor Isla Bauer, who was the mayor of Round Lake Park at the time.
So the mayor said to me, I want you to tell me what we could do in Round Lake Park that would make the most impact in the community.
Recognizing that this group of individuals, immigrant families, were essential to the health and well-being of the community, they decided to come together around this idea of a welcome center and a resource center.
They determined that there was absolutely no way that people who were new to the community, who were immigrants, would know anything about how to get to know anything in their community, how to understand schools, the police department, etc.
I said, we need to create a Latino Family Resource Center that provides resources to a part of the community that quite honestly was an us and a them.
And Mark was a newly elected state representative at that time. That was back in 1996.
The mayor took on the responsibility of saying, okay, now we need money.
He had really no choice because Isla and Bruce kept at him to make sure that this grant was in fact funded.
So they came together and worked with the Illinois General Assembly and got a grant for $100,000 that other communities used to create a welcome sign, and they used it to create a welcome center.
My particular involvement in Mano had been right from the very beginning. The individual that I worked for was very supportive of Mano. And I kind of tagged along, we'd attend galas, and I'd basically be there to help him spend his money.
The original vision for Mano was to help immigrants who were new to the community, to help them learn where the library was, where the schools were, where they could get health care, and how they could get jobs.
As an employer, we did have a number of Latinos working for us, and I recognized that there were a lot of needs, and by being a part of Mano, I felt that we were addressing those situations.
And so Mano started out as a resource center. We have these humble beginnings of just being a small storefront on Main Street in Round Lake Park. And at that time, we really functioned in the basic role of a resource center. People would come to Mano if they had certain needs or certain questions about how to get access to services and resources in the community, and we would help them find those resources. At that point, we didn't really provide direct services.
We got the storefront up and ready, and what typically happens? Not enough space.
And Bruce did a wonderful job of one of the biggest challenges, which is getting the Latino community to trust the police department.
The police department helped us out by allowing us to use their space.
So actually opened up the police station. The clients would come across the street, come into the police station, go into our training room, which basically was their training room, also participated in many of the classes and services that Mano provided. Most
of the immigrants to this area, and a lot of people don't realize that, came from rural parts of Mexico. They had the average of a third-grade education, and they had no literacy in English. So that was the other thing that they thought Mano could do, was teach English as a second language.
So it truly was what I think, in lots of years of policing, a great example of actually having a community police department, as well as, community policing philosophy that truly translated across, all boundaries of our community. This is definitely an important thing for the community. What I think we like to say about Mano services are that it's a hand up, not a hand out.
And giving them better opportunities, not just employment, but being part of the community.
I think it's really chipped away at this concept of, potentially an us and them community. And I think communities can't afford to have any form of an us and a them. I think that you have to think about being inclusive, being one community, having the same goals to care for your families and your futures, and Mano does that.